So I want to try a little thought experiment with you. I can't see too much, but I'm hopeful that you'll just be honest with me as we go through this. I'd like to start off with you all closing your eyes, if you'd be so kind. Oh, wow, look at you guys. You're really nice. Cool. All right. Now, I want you to picture in your mind the characteristics of a great, strong leader. All right. Now, open your eyes. Okay. With a show of hands, how many of you pictured a man? Seriously, no one? Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're fitting into the mold. All right. How many of you pictured somebody significantly different from yourself? All right, a lot of you. And some of you picked yourself. Nice work. All right. Impressive. As we go through this talk today, I want you guys to have the idea that actually great leaders are a lot more like you than you might think. So, my name's Kristofor, and I'm the CEO and founder of Bamboo Sushi, a chain of sustainable sushi restaurants. Thanks for the whistle. And that's where most of my leadership experiences come from. And as we've grown, we get asked a lot, how is it possible that you can keep growing and serving sustainable sushi? Isn't the whole idea of business to lower your costs? And sustainable fish, as most people know, just costs more. That's a fact. So from day one, some very smart people have told me that sustainable sushi is not a sustainable business model. What I want to do with you today is this. I want to tell you that sustainable sushi is a sustainable business model and businesses like sustainable sushi. And I also want to do it by tearing down some of our myths about what we consider to be effective leadership. All right, so I'm going to engage you again. How many of you know what the world's biggest spectator sport is? Shout it out if you know. Come on. Wow, we got a smart audience here. Portland, Oregon. I like it. All right, number 2. Who knows? Oh, all right. I'll put you out of your misery. Soccer, basketball. I know, surprising, right? I thought it was baseball for a long time. It's basketball. All right. Now, what about the third biggest spectator sport in the world and rapidly gaining on the other two? There's no way you're going to guess this, but go ahead. Do it. All right. I'm going to put you out of your misery right now. Here we go. You ready? Drum roll. Competitive video games. Did you get it in the back? Yes. I had no idea. Seems like most of you had no idea either. I was really surprised, as many people are. But in reality, we shouldn't be. Video games are awesome, number one. And this type of video game, hundreds of thousands of people packing into stadiums around the world, it's all about multiplayer games, people coming together to play video games, not just on their own in a silo, right? So the video game demographic is huge, and it's been there for a long time. It's just not always been visible, right? We're all shouting out different things. We don't even know it exists. All right, let's go back to basketball for a minute. You guys might get this one. Who currently is the world's most popular and best basketball player? All right, people are saying Steven. His name's Stefan. But yes, you're right. So we're close. It's all right. We're trailblazers up here. We get it. You know? It's not this guy, right? It's not Kobe. He's 6'6", 220 pounds. That guy, LeBron, 6'9", 250. That's what you guys said. It's a close call. He used to be, but he's not anymore. 2-time MVP, Stephen Curry, right? And it's not Kevin Durant, who's 6'10", 230 pounds. Okay? It's that guy who looks more like a guy who plays video games, right? Than like the world's best basketball player. But this isn't an accident. For the last basically 2 or 3 decades in the 20th century, maybe even a little bit more, maybe 40 years or so, we've been fed this idea of the hero and the leader as being this larger-than-life figure, right? People, or whatever it is, like Superman, not really a person. Rambo, also probably not really a person, but still nonetheless. But the idea is that the hero is this larger-than-life individual, often male, who goes it alone. And they have to defend everyone because everybody else around them is completely incompetent and unable to save themselves or help anyone, right? And so basically this played into American exceptionalism for the last 100 years. We're bigger, stronger, and better than the rest of the world. And supposedly we lead through force and brute might, right? That's how we lead. But that's not real leadership, right? But the media fed us this and said, well, this is what we want from all of our heroes, right? Be they athletes, okay? Movie stars, all right? Politicians, really? Really? Not a war veteran, but anyway. Even movie star politicians, okay? But we went with this idea, right? I mean, you know, watching a Rambo movie, I guess, is better than staring at a blank wall. Some may argue otherwise. I hear some grumbling out there. But it never really spoke to who we were, right? It never really connected with a lot of us. And so right after World War II, another type of hero slowly crept up in the shadows. That's right. Many of the future leaders today in America, people that are truly shaping the world, people like Bill and Melinda Gates in public health and philanthropy, or Dame Judi Dench in the arts, or Elon Musk with Tesla and Solar City, and you've got business and technology there. They weren't busy trying to be Rambo and go to the gym and pump up or wanting to be Superman. Instead, they were reading books like Lord of the Rings and playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, let's think about this for a sec. What type of a hero is a hobbit? Okay? He's small, empathetic, and fundamentally fallible, right? He's not a Superman. He doesn't succeed through individual magnificence, but rather by creating a team, a fellowship, right? So let's go back to Stephen Curry for a second. Who, in basketball terms, is a hobbit? I'm sorry, Stephen, if you watch this at all. I really apologize. I love you. But the truth of the matter is that Stephen Curry is a complete stark contrast to the old type of model of athlete that we looked up to, right, of leader. You have people like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. They basically put down their foes through this like alpha male dominant sort of way of living, and also their own teammates, which is super weird to think about. That's how we viewed leadership before, right? You make somebody live up to your view of yourself. Well, Stephen Curry's not like this. He's complete stark contrast. He's somebody we can all relate to. I mean, his greatest skill is shooting the ball, which is something that if anybody practices enough, they too can get good at, right? So for so long, we were basically told that we fantasized about being Superman or Rambo. And in fact, we really didn't. I mean, probably most of us really didn't. In fact, we kind of fantasized more about being like a Frodo or a Bilbo Baggins. Not in looks, I understand. Nobody wants to look like a hobbit. I get it. It's not hot. Your Tinder profile is never going to be good with that. But we do fantasize about actually people caring about who we are, right? What are the skills that we've been blessed with? What are the natural and innate powers that we have? We're never going to be Superman. And every person is different, and every person has something to bring to the table. So that's sort of the way that I view my role within the company. It's to bring out the best in the people around me, right? So I'm a functionary. I'm a facilitator. I'm somebody who tries to make the dishwasher or the server or the sushi chef have as good of an experience working for the company as they do when we're looking at taking care of the customer coming to dine with the company, right? And so this isn't just like a rhetoric, right? I'm not just saying this. This isn't kind of like some new speak sort of, authoritarian regime, wrapped in the sheep's cloak of, Casual Friday, right? Like, this is serious business. This is the way that business is going in the 21st century. And I'm here to tell you that it really, really works, right? We all know, I'm sure we've been on the receiving end of it before, that you can be intimidated into doing your job, right? You can be made afraid to do that. It doesn't work that well, and it certainly doesn't work for a long period of time. And as a consequence of that as well, it fractures the team. It's not fun, right? The real joy in doing anything is doing it together as a group, like a fellowship. So this brings me back to the Golden State Warriors, right? So the reason why they're so popular, and I'm sorry for Blazer fans, I understand, I'm a Blazer fan too, but the reason why the Golden State Warriors are so popular right now, and Stephen Curry is such a great player, is because he is a role player on a team of role players. Playing basketball is a role-playing game, like video games, and he's just a member of the expedition, right? He's just along for the ride. If you ever notice, he's not selfish at all. And so really, leadership has now transformed from being about dominance to about inclusion and making everyone else around you better. And that may not seem like a sort of revolutionary thought, but it really is when you look at the archetype of leadership throughout the history of time. It's always been about dominance, and that is ultimately not leadership. So you ask, what does this have to do with sustainable sushi, possibly? All right, I'm droning on about Stephen Curry and Dungeons and Dragons, and I own a sushi restaurant. What it has to do with is this. Serving sustainable sushi is not about just selling a product, right? It's about engaging everyone in a conversation about making the world a better place. It's about creating a shared purpose that we can all get behind and we can all believe in, right? And so when you come in to eat with us, you're not just participating in something as an individual, you're participating in something as a group. Now, you may say, well, I disagree. When I come in to eat at Bamboo Sushi, or any restaurant for that matter, I don't notice anything. But I would beg to differ, right? There's a small unspoken bond that happens when you go into a place that has more meaning and more of a transcendent experience than when you just have a transactional experience. And I'm not the only one who believes this, right? You look at business now today. Look at Tom's shoes, for example. How many of you, out of curiosity, are wearing Tom's shoes? There's like 4 of you. Wow. Okay. They kind of came and went, I guess. But there's Tom's shoes. There's Warby Parker Eyewear. The one-for-one model, right? They give away their products to people who are in need. And when you're buying those things, it feels really good to know that you're actually doing something to make the world a little bit better place, right? And I'm not always saying that you're conscientiously aware of it, but the spirit of community always starts with commonality. Look at Tesla, for example. Maybe there's more of a current model that people really are admiring and do like, right? Why are they so popular? Okay? Yeah, they make a good car. There's no question. Do they make the best car? Some may argue otherwise, right? The reason why Tesla is so successful is not because it makes the best car in the world. It's because when you drive a Tesla, you're standing up for the movement away from the burning of fossil fuels and saving the planet. So the very act of driving a car, which once was basically destroying the planet, gets turned into now you are saving the planet. And just as a fun side note, Tesla has the highest customer satisfaction rating of any car company on Earth. It's 12 years old. It has a lot of problems, but yet it has the highest customer satisfaction. Toyota, Mercedes, BMW, you name it, Tesla beats it by a huge margin. And this is not because it's this, you have to buy this and you're the shit kind of idea, like a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. It's that you have to buy this because when you buy this, you're a part of a collective. You're a part of a whole. J.R.R. Tolkien, the man who invented hobbits, said that fantasy stories are an escape from the prison of reality. Think about that for a sec. That's some deep existential stuff, the prison of reality. But when you think about it for a second, and you really sort of let that take over you, you realize he's right? We're all bound by this mortality. These bodies we're in are going to wear out and die. There's nothing we can do about it. So that's probably why, for example, religions that offer an afterlife are so enduringly popular. If you think about it, what they're offering you is the opportunity to transcend the prison of the self. What I'm here today to tell you is that great leadership, today and going forward, gives an opportunity to transcend the prison of the self. It gives people an opportunity to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves and to share in the whole. And the leader is no longer the dominant alpha male or alpha figure putting somebody else down, but rather a person coming up from the bottom to support and collect and hold everyone together. So, lastly with sustainable sushi. I understand that probably when you come in, and you may even argue, maybe some people would argue, I don't know, maybe people wouldn't, but that you can't necessarily in a blind taste test taste the difference between fish that is caught sustainably and fish that isn't. I think you can, but some people argue you can't, and that's fine. But I guarantee you, and since this is a Portland audience, you probably know this if you've dined with us, you can feel the difference. Every person who works in the company and every person who participates in buying into the company ethos is a part of something bigger than themselves. And what that creates is it creates this relaxation and this sort of joy and fun that's within the restaurant that's palpable every night. That's the secret to what we do. The restaurant industry is not about selling food as its main product source. I mean, yeah, we have to have good food. What we really do at Bamboo, we sell you a feeling. You walk away with a feeling of doing something good, feeling good about what you did, and enjoying your experience. And that goes from every person who works within the four walls of the business to every guest who comes in and dines with us. So, in closing, I'd like for you guys to do me one last favor, which is to close your eyes. All right, most of you are still engaged. I've lost a couple of you. That's fine. I can deal with it. It's the end of the day. Now, I want you, in your own mind, considering you all raised your hand that you thought of other people and men and all kinds of other things, I want you, right now as an individual, to think about something that's bigger than yourself. Think about a shared purpose that you can believe in. And think about something that other people will want to share with you. Maybe you're coaching a little league team. Maybe you're writing that book you've always wanted to write. Maybe you're starting your own restaurant. Whatever it is, I want you to feel it and I want you to believe it. This is something that you absolutely can do. It's something all of us can do. Now I want you to open your eyes to the understanding that the great leader is actually you. Thank you.